One of the great lessons that I think we learn in this week's Parsha is the importance of respecting the boundaries of others. That's because the Jewish people at Har Sinai had a boundary to respect as well. There is a very well-known medrash that when it came to the Jewish people receiving the Torah at Har Sinai, before Hashem offered the Torah to us, he first offered it to other nations. And he went to the other nations, he said, would you accept my Torah? And they responded. One nation, he said to them, will you accept my Torah? And they said, well, what's in it? And Hashem said, lo signo, if you can't steal. And they said, sorry, sometimes we do that. It goes against our nature not to steal, so we can't accept your Torah. And then Hashem went to another nation and said, well, you want the Torah. And they said, well, what's in it? And he said, lo sirtzach, don't murder. And they said, listen, it goes against our nature. Sometimes things happen and murder, we can't regulate ourselves to the point that there is no murder among us, so we can't accept the Torah. And Hashem comes to the Jewish people and he says, will you accept my Torah? And the Jewish people say, Na'aseh v'nishma, absolutely will accept the Torah. And the Chidush Arim wonders and says, was there anything that was against the nature of the Jewish people that despite the fact that it was against our nature, we still decided to accept the Torah? Because otherwise, this whole story wouldn't make sense. And so the Chidush Harim explains that there was something that was against the nature of the Jewish people. And that was the concept of Hagbala, the mitzvah of Hagbala that we find in our Parsha. Hashem says to Moshe, tell the Jewish people that as we prepare for Matan Torah, when Hashem will descend on Har Sinai, as we prepare for 3 days, make sure that there is a boundary. Make sure there's a boundary around Har Sinai so that no one touches the mountain. Lo siga bo yad, not a hand, and not even an animal. No one can go there, not even a finger. If one touches the mountain, then one will die. And so the Chidush Harim says that mitzvah went against the teva, went against the nature of the Jewish people. Because we are a people, as he explains, we're a people that like to be lachkor v'lidurosh kefi yacholtam. We don't simply accept something when someone tells us their opinion or tells us an idea. We try to really understand it. We try to really delve into it. We try to make sense of it. And sometimes we push when we are told something that we push beyond the boundary that has been established for us. And so HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to the Jewish people, I am giving you a Torah in which there are boundaries. And you have to learn, if you're going to accept my Torah, to respect those boundaries. And those boundaries are the halacha, the laws, the mitzvos, the masorah, the tradition that's passed down from generation to generation. And so we, the Jewish people, our teva, is to push limits in our desire to understand and comprehend and love. But at the same time, Hashem says, there has to be boundaries in order for there to be growth and connection, certainly with spirituality and the divine. And I think this is such an important message for us, certainly during a period of time where so many of us are cooped up in our homes together with family. And there are times where our boundaries really get pushed, even with each other. And we have to remember that boundaries are vital for us being able to be connected. Whether it's boundaries between spouses, or boundaries between parents and children, or boundaries between friends, or boundaries between family on a different level. We have to be able to understand, to create boundaries for ourselves with others, and we have to make sure that we respect the boundaries of others. And if we do so, then we will be able to grow and to have our lives enhanced by Torah and mitzvos, and fulfill that which Hashem wanted from us when He first gave the Torah to our ancestors on Har Sinai, as we find in our parsha. Thank you for listening, and have a good Shabbos.